3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome back to the EF5 Podcast.
You guys started over. I messed you up.
Hello and welcome back to the EF5 Podcast, the crossroads between logistics and life. And we are going to deviate a little bit off of the road down to the life boulevard. All right, so I want to talk about a little bit of health things today. With the end of the year quickly approaching, a lot of people are looking at their New Year's resolutions. Is that the correct word?
I guess.
There's like people say like resolution, like a TV resolution or something like that. I don't know, something. Everyone's looking to change something up.
Resolution.
Yeah, everyone's looking to change up their new year, right? They're looking to do something different. The first 30 days, everyone's committed, then everything ends after that.
Of course.
But I want to talk about some of the things that you've adopted over time, because I know your life has changed. Your physical health has changed, drastically than what it was 2 years ago.
What are you saying? I was out of shape?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's how it goes around here?
Yep, it was. But seriously, okay, that's too high. I can't be having that.
Yeah, it's been a 3-year journey, roughly.
Okay.
2018?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2018. I waited that first 30 days for everybody to clear out the gym before I showed up.
That's funny. So like, what did the start look like for you? Or what was the?
It started like I thought I finished from high school. Straight to the weights. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was looking around going, I still struggling tying my tennis shoes because my belly was so big.
Right.
I was like, I got to get off this weight situation and that treadmill that I hate. I kind of need to get over there.
Right.
So that's how it kind of generally started. I just literally one day was kind of out of breath tying my tennis shoes. And I've talked to a few people since then, and they've had that kind of moment, like, I can't breathe once I tied my tennis shoes. And I was like, that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, just started kind of going, I need to do something. And then went gung-ho, and that's why everybody bails out after 30 days because they get burnt out. And then you hear all these things from everybody saying, well, you need to rest. You're wearing yourself out. Let your body heal. All this good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe that, I guess, for about a good 9 months. And I was up and down, up and down. At the beginning, looking back now, at the beginning, I kind of set yourself up for failure because you're not ready to take it on full speed, no matter how much you think you are.
Right. Well, if you ask a lot of people, and I've done this myself too, a lot of people when they get back in the gym, they just want to get it hard, just go straight in, and kind of similar to you, where you just want to hit the weights hard and just really go back to what you were doing. And a lot of people can do that, but the problem is that it's not that they can't do it; it's that the day after and the couple days after, you're just in absolute pain because of the soreness, and then that's what turns you off from going back in.
That's definitely some of it, but we took, in your example, they can do it, but they haven't put in the habits that will allow them to succeed.
Absolutely.
So you may want it, but when you're tired and you're worn out and life happens, then you start telling yourself the other excuses.
Right.
Well, you deserve this. You deserve that break. Your body's sore, all these things.
Right.
And we slowly default back to the bad habits again.
Absolutely.
And then we realize, well, 2 days, I'll start on Monday. I'll start on the first of the year. All those things you tell yourself. So you have to be committed to a total lifestyle change, so to speak.
Okay.
And it has to be one that can fit into your life you live. You just can't change your lifestyle and say, I'm going to start living that. So you have to just be committed to work through and find things that work.
Okay.
And a lot of the information that's available to us is just, I hate to say it, but it's bad intel.
Mm-hmm.
You referenced Jocko in his podcast that he does an awesome job, and there's plenty of video content out there. There's also books that he has out there. But one of the things that stood out to me is they put them Navy SEALs to a grind for, I think 8 weeks straight, no days off.
Something like that.
and their body responds to it, most of them.
Yeah.
But they're broken, they're sore, they're tired, and then all of a sudden they come out on the other side of it.
Right. Well, like to kind of build off of that, I was actually listening to a Jocko podcast the other day. It was telling a story about buds, and what buds is the basic training of the Navy SEALs. You know, it's the camp that they go to for like you said, that 8-week period or however long it is, to be promoted to the Navy SEALs. And he mentioned how, like, he never tell stories about buds because nothing ever happens in buds. Like, you know, there is the one or two instances where there is something serious that happens, but most of it is just not quitting.
Right.
And that's kind of a big, like,
it's more of a mental than a
absolutely.
Physical, really.
And that's a big mental thing for you too, and for people that just do the normal exercising and stuff like that, is just not quitting. You don't have to be the next big bodybuilder, or I mean, you can have the aspirations of that, and you can have your goal set for that, but none of it really matters if you still quit, like, or if you still have that no mentality, you know.
Well, with the 75 hard challenge that I had a chance to do, and the stuff I've learned through the process, it's more mental than physical.
Absolutely.
And so you have to set the game. You have to decide, are you going to beat yourself, or are you going to get beat by yourself?
Right.
It
Absolutely.
really comes down to it. And with that 75 hard challenge, I had a couple of people that tried to do it along the way when I was doing it, and a few people lasted, and most people kind of bailed out.
Yeah, I was one of them.
Hey, you hung in there for a minute.
I made it to the end of January.
Hey, look, I wanted to bail out, and then I showed up, and it was 32 degrees, cold and rain, and you were out there running, doing the outdoor workout. I'm like, there's no way you're going to beat me.
Yeah,
I may have quit that day and starting it back over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that was midway through the January or whatever it was, and that was only your, like, I don't think you had finished it at that time.
No,
I don't think you had done a finished run. I think you made it like halfway through and then messed up one time or something like that and had to restart.
I made it 69 days and started back over.
Was that what it was? Yeah, so you hadn't even finished it at that time.
Yeah. So you look up the 75 hard. You can find it, hashtag look around. Andy Frisella's behind that deal. And you can get more information on it. I won't get into that here. But when I talked to those people about doing it, I told them it's not a health challenge, it's a mental challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you don't really have the core of why you want to do it, you'll quit.
Yeah.
And so part of my why, maybe we'll talk about it one day, but some people that follow me, I put a hashtag why. That why gets me out of bed every morning, and it's more than just a physical look that I desire. It's a lifestyle I want to live.
Right.
So 98% of the time, I want to hit snooze. I want to go back to bed. I want to be lazy. I think by nature we're all lazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we all want comfort. I wouldn't say we're lazy.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't have to quite work for something, but we could get it, sure, we'd love that.
Well, there's a reason why there's comfort zones, right? If
Do they
people,
fall
if
with
people
cry zones too? So
what?
Cry zones and comfort zones?
A little
Are they
bit.
all together?
A little bit.
Sorry,
I mean, they're kind of
on that, but
they're kind of in the same area if you think about it.
yeah, most of the time, if you're in your comfort zone, you're crying before too long.
Yeah.
Because it's not as comfortable as you thought it would be.
Yep, and you're not pushing yourself.
Correct. Yeah.
Just kinda
We
end up in that
want to
zone.
relax, but then we want this, and then when we relax, we're like, we're bored. We want something else.
Right, absolutely.
So that moving forward we talked about, I
It's
just say
important.
move forward.
Important.
But through that, you can't have the same diet program. You can't eat and drink and do the things that you did that got you to where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go somewhere different.
Absolutely. Now you mentioned you can't do those things. What is yours like? What
As
is your,
far
like,
as
diet plan and stuff like that, or what is, I guess, to simplify it, because I know generally what it is. This is kind of rhetorical for me to ask that, but what is your morning routine?
well, you're the guy interviewing me, so you got to make it look good.
True, but I also have to be a little bit honest with everybody.
Sure.
So, like, what does your morning routine look like? Because anyone that's friends with you on social media or follows you, stuff like that, they see
Well,
4
sometimes
4
I've
a.m.
lost
posts.
friends too because they were like, "Hey, I want to do what you're doing." I'm like, "You sure?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, it's gonna take this and that. How about I text you in the morning when I get going?" Okay. Now I get no responses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, I guess you weren't really serious. Didn't fit into your schedule. It's all good though. Everybody has the greatest intention behind it, but
Absolutely.
for me, over a period of time, just to kind of summarize it a little bit, I heard a comment one time that said nothing good happens after 11 a.m. or 11 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you go to the ATM, you're going out. Usually you'll spend more money. You'll be in places you don't need to be or around people you don't need to be unless you work a third shift.
Right.
So it started hitting me. I was like, okay, well, I can't find time on the back side of the day, so maybe I can find it on the front side of the day. And part of that with Ed Milet, he had mentioned work 3 8-hour days throughout the course of your day. So, I'm sorry, it's 3 6-hour days, sleep 6 hours.
Okay.
And old Arnold Schwarzenegger will tell you 6 hours ain't enough, sleep faster. So, Ed's core concept, and check out his stuff, it's really good, is 6 hours personal, 6 hours business, and 6 hours to your family.
Okay.
It's not all going to add up that way every day.
Right.
But if you drive the intention to get stuff done, a lot of people can use this is if they were going on vacation, they do a whole lot more work the week prior to vacation because they know they're not going to be there next week.
Right.
So if you take that mindset, it's a vacation week coming, I got to get everything done. You take that every day with your workflow, you'll get it done. You got to be intentional. You can't wander around. So I started working on the schedule basically to get the schedule kind of lined up to see if I could pull it off.
Okay.
So in short story, really Monday through Friday for sure, it's 1:30 to 2:30 in the morning I'm up. And then it's gym, get ready, head into work, head back home, spend some time with the family, and then I'm in bed between as early, if I'm lucky, 6:30, as late, maybe 9:30.
Okay.
Just depending upon the day.
Right.
Some people do need 7 hours sleep, whatever it looks like. For me, I've always been a 5 to 7 hour guy. So you just listen to your body after it's all said and done.
Yeah,
you can tell.
Absolutely.
If your body's tired, I go back to sleep. But generally speaking, I have built that routine that serves me.
Okay.
So from there, the morning progresses, and I realized I try to, quote unquote, cut the weekends back, but it jacks my schedule all the way through the week. Because I take 2 days off to live differently to live the next 5. So it's confusing your mind. Now, I may not get up at 1:30 or 2, depending on what's going on the weekend, but I'll be up by 4 normally, and then go throughout the course of the day.
Right.
So that's a short version of the schedule look, and then you realize what you were feeding yourself wasn't getting the results you wanted. It was creating worse health. There's a lot of things you can go find to educate yourself on health. A lot of times we medicate ourselves rather than to heal ourselves. The famous story that I really triggered in my mind was, let me ask you this. When the dog gets sick and you take it to the vet, what does the vet say?
The dog's sick.
And then what does the vet ask you about the dog?
What is he eating?
Correct. Light bulb. You go to the doctor, you say, hey, I'm sick. The doctor rarely goes, hey, Cole, what did you eat?
Yeah, he's normally like, what'd you
Okay,
do?
let me prescribe this and let me give you this. Go act like you're going to die and stay away from everybody for a couple days and you should be good.
Yep.
You know why the vet says, what did it eat? Because the vet was structurally set up that back in the day, the farm animal got sick, showed up at the vet, farm animal needed to come back to the farm to work.
Right.
The vet had to get the farm animal healed to get back to work. So it had to go straight to the result of the problem. Didn't have time to medicate it so it can slowly get back to work. Had to go back to work now.
Right.
So the vet went straight to what did you eat? So many people in today's world don't have that understanding.
Okay.
So if you're not feeling or getting what you want, part of that is what you're eating.
Right. So what do you eat?
I try to limit sugar and protein. Excuse me. sugar and carbs are the
Okay.
two core things. Like, I don't carry around a measuring cup and do all this and do all that.
Right.
And it's a keto form style of diet, and some people freak out about that and some people don't. So you find whatever your body works for your body. My belief is, after kind of talking to so many people and kind of really looking at this, you might survive better on fish and I might survive better on meat. We
Right.
have kind of like an ancestral background of regionally where our ancestors grew up, that we have a bias to it. We use it as, I don't know, seafood compared to the South versus the East Coast up in Maryland. You have Chesapeake Bay, Old Bay seasoning, a style of cooking that's different than in the South and the Cajun area. Similar, but still different.
Right.
So the taste buds and the what they like, what they may eat more of, is driven by your culture and your background.
Okay.
So your body will tend to have that. People talk about salads, different things like that. Okay, so the guy who was an Eskimo versus the guy who lived down by the islands, the Eskimo didn't grow no lettuce.
Right.
How is eating a salad the best diet for you?
Right.
Well, the guy in the islands, he didn't see any bears to kill.
Right.
He had to fish. That's about the only protein he got.
Right.
The guy in the mountains probably didn't see any fish unless it was running upstream and it was called salmon.
Right.
So you can't say that structurally one way or the other is better for everybody.
Okay.
So when you walk the simple thought process out, then you can kind of go, okay, that makes sense. It shouldn't be that hard to figure out what works. It really shouldn't.
Right. There's so much false information too, not just information out there that is there, but a lot of either half correct information.
Well, there's
totally false
kind of two
information,
thoughts
too.
of why that information exists. One, you can go off on the conspiracy tangent and say it's all big money, big pharma, big food, and money drives it, which there's probably some validity to that.
Yeah.
And then there's the other thought is, if I share something with you and you believe it and I have the wrong information, then we both are wrong, but we go out sharing it.
Right, and then
So-
it's just regurgitated essentially.
Some of that is incidental, false telling of the facts,
Right.
or non-facts, I guess.
Right. But I mean, that's bound to happen with anything too, you
Yeah.
know. And that's what sucks, is that in a field that is very important, and you know, I hate to bring it back to this, but it's the same thing with politics too. I mean, there's so much.
You said we were staying off of
I
politics.
did say that, but there's so much, you know, information that is either incidentally wrong, like you said, where it's just spread between, you know, two people and playing a game of phone, and it gets messed up in between. So, you know,
One last, the quick add to, so you just kind of walk down the basic elements and realize there's some things I was doing that weren't right. There might be some that are right. So just navigate through that, and then recognizing that our vitamin D levels are low, the amount of water that we get in is not to what our standards should be daily, and up in the level of protein. So eliminating the carbs, eliminating the sugar, and increasing the positive things that make your body go around or move, I should say.
right.
So fiber, vitamin D, H2O, protein are like key elements to get started on.
Okay.
There's other things that you can add too, but compare it to a car is the other example I get. If you don't ever change the filters, you put oil where the gas is supposed to be, and then you put the fuel where the water's supposed to be, and then you drive it like crazy, then you wonder why it blows up.
Right. Exactly.
So,
So I mean, those are kind of some big points that you brought up towards the end. What are your big points that you want people to take from this? So, like, there's a lot of good information that we've shared so far, just about either your routine or general health or stuff like that. What are some big takeaways that can get people at least feeling like they're on the right track right now?
Number one, understand what you're putting in your body for sure.
Okay.
And you don't have to make drastic changes, because you didn't make drastic changes all of a sudden you just started eating candy bars and drinking Coke and that's all you did.
Right.
So just number one, just question it to see if it sounds like it makes sense.
Okay.
Just understand what that looks like. Like, the processed things are just not good. I'm not saying you can't have any of them ever, but that's all we get, it seems like.
Right.
So that, number 2, I tell everybody vitamin D. Understand what the average vitamin D level should be. Make sure you recognize your vitamin D is low. And especially with the whole COVID deal and everything going on right now, it's an attack on your immune system.
Right.
Where our immune systems are so weak right now because we don't consume things that bring in that vitamin D.
Right. We're inside a lot too, so that
The whole sun deal, you can throw that out the window.
Yeah, well, no.
Sit by a lamplight.
It's not even necessarily that. It's more so about like the changing of your atmosphere is not there. You're sitting in the same.
I totally disagree with you. I'm just going to say.
Really?
No, I mean I get what you're saying. There is some element there, but
I'm not saying it's drastic, but it doesn't aid the process. Is
all
what
right.
I'm trying
So
to
look,
say.
the people that sit at the beach all day long and drink candy bars and
Drink candy bars.
Yeah,
Are they melted?
they drink Cokes, eat candy bars, still have vitamin D deficiency.
Oh, I'm
issues.
sure. I'm sure.
So yeah, definitely there is some added benefit. I
Yeah.
mean, you look it up. Just look up cholesterol turns into vitamin D when you're not jamming up your veins with sugar and carbohydrates.
Okay.
Bottom line.
Okay. But one thing that I also want people to look up is the rest of these episodes that we're putting
Hang on,
out.
I'm not finished.
You're not finished?
No, so educate
Okay.
yourself, vitamin D, and drink your body weight, at least half your body weight of water in ounces a day. So if you weigh 200 pounds, drink 100 pounds. So if 100 ounces. Gosh, I messed that up, didn't I?
I'm trying to think. Well, this bottle right here is 17 ounces. So that would mean 17 fluid ounces. Is that
Correct.
okay? So that would be.
So let's do the math. So how much do you weigh?
So it would be 10. So 10 of these would be 170.
How much do you weigh?
I weigh 160.
All right, so you need
158 on a
80
good day.
ounces of water a day. So half your body weight in ounces.
So it'd be about 6 of these.
17 divided by 80. It's actually 4.7.
Wow.
So at least half your body weight of water a day in ounces.
Okay.
So check your vitamin D levels. Most people need at least 10 to 12,000 international units a day. They need at least half your body weight. If not that, at least 1 gallon.
Okay.
Perfect world, all your body weight of ounces of water a day.
Right.
So use measurements that help guide you there.
Okay.
And then know what you're intaking. So, sorry, this really bugs me because there's so many, like we talked about, there's so much misinformation
Right.
and lack of education that's generally easy to understand once you are committed to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, just please, I heard something. It said nature's solution to dilution. Excuse me, let me say this again. Nature's solution to pollution is dilution. So this right here, the water will help you dilute the nasty stuff in your body. Also will help you flush it out.
Right.
So,
Aren't you quite the philosopher?
well, and the disclaimer, if you made it this far, I'm not a doctor, so this is not suggested medical doctor advice to be suing me later. If you, for some reason, are the one outlier that is allergic to vitamin D and go against everything you've been told and you overdose. There's literally look it up. You can't overdose on vitamin D. You have to be insanely.
We're basically like the men's health forums that just spread total ridiculous stuff 24/7.
But dude, I'm telling you that it's so frustrating because it's so easy to do, and so many people look at the supplement side of things and they act like that's drugs or
Too many
I don't want
pills.
to take too many pills. Why? If you realize that you're not getting your intake of how your body was made up, then that's why it's called supplement. You're supplementing for the items that we just can't even get anymore.
Right.
Like you and I couldn't go through a regular day without walking in and out of Whole Foods. Just about the only option.
Right.
And we probably still couldn't find everything we need. So you need to supplement what you're not getting daily.
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing that we hope to supplement you with is this video for your needed benefits of, podcasts and stuff like that. Because I know a lot of people don't know where to go for podcasts. There's a ton of content out there that's just random, just thrown together ideas. I see a lot of stoicism podcast. You know what stoicism is?
No.
It's basically like just a really like melatonin. Melatonin? That's not the word I was looking for.
That helps you sleep. That's a supplement that will help you sleep.
But it's really monotone like lifestyle essentially. It's really, I don't know, it's not for me, but it's for a lot of people. But there's tons of that, but there's tons of random stuff around, and we hope that we're able to give a little bit of a different point of view of a different line of work, really. There ain't much like this out there, so we hope that we can fit that bill.
If you have any more questions about what we talked about, leave a comment and I'll respond back. And
shoot, give us a call.
You can find our phone number on the website. I don't want to give I don't care. Call me 404-590-9902.
There you go.
You might go to voicemail because I might be busy, and I don't leave a message because it's full. So you'll have to text me.
International fees don't apply.
And I'm not voting no matter what you say in a text, so that the vote ain't happening either.
International fees don't apply to that.
That's true.
No calls from out of the nation, please, because that's expensive, especially if you get one from like past Europe.
All right, let's wrap this up.
All right, let's wrap this up. Yep, I'm ready.
All right,
we out.
All right.